Good morning. Let's take a look at some of the profits from yesterday. So in the video, talking about the 0-2. This was a good example. Storm God set 0-1 down. That's when we get involved because Christiansson's goal was against the run of play and it was a penalty. But lo and behold, it becomes 0-2. So what do you do at 0-2? But what I did, I topped up again. Had faith in the in-play stats. And at 1-2, you have the opportunity for your first cash out. This was at 2-2. I got out. So don't forget, if a trade goes against you from 0-1 to 0-2, you could either cash out there and then for a loss, or you can wait for a 1-2. And at the 1-2, your losses will be reduced considerably. We had another example of that, I think, with Häcken against Norrköping, where your loss went from £40 down to £8 just for that single Häcken goal, from 0-1 to 0-2 to 1-2. So this was a good result. I loaded up profit on Stroms because they bossed the second half. Ludogorets, 1.17 favourite. 0-2 down, I believe, to Levski Krumovgrad. Excellent entry point. Had we held on for the win? No, I cashed out at the win at 3-2 and it ended up 3-3. So don't forget to green up. Häcken and Norrköping, I think this was a full loss here. But as I alluded to, I could reduce this to £8.20. This was another example of a 0-1 to the underdog. So we get involved. Then it becomes 0-2 to the underdog. And then we start to panic a little. But at 1-2, that loss of £39.20 is reduced to about £8. So that's your get out. I didn't get out there, so I was doing the live stream. But that's your get out, £8 loss. Granada Osasuna, no luck with that one yesterday. And this is an ample example to you of a 2.3, the favourite match. Could be anything. And indeed, that one was. Tottenham and Arsenal, very low liability, £3.85. We laid Arsenal with I think it was a 0-2 or 0-3 lead. And Q, the North London recovery, 2-3 for Tottenham. Could have got you a profit out of this. Of double figures. It's all relative to the amount risked, of course. The more you want to risk, the bigger your return, but the bigger your loss. So it's all relative. So we got a 0-3 to 2-3. We were very close to getting a nice £34 on the draw and loading on at Tottenham. Could have got a nice green screen there at the 2-3. Bologna and Udinese. This was one of those matches where it was a red card for Bologna. We can't do anything about red cards, I'm afraid. They absolutely dominated this match. Udinese took the lead. That's the way to take Udinese on. But then we got a Bologna red card. I still kept the faith, given Bologna a very strong defensive record, even down to 10 men. They could hold this, what has been a poor Udinese side, at bay. And indeed, come out of this unscathed with a £3.33 loss there. So that's not too shabby compared to a £40 loss for a side with 10 men. So we did okay there. Yet more low risk. Varnam and Halmstad. Look at that, £3.60 liability. Do it all day long in the right matches because one or two of them are going to bite and you'll make that nice return. This one, I think it was Halmstad took the lead. And it was one of those early season matches. And this is where we got caught. Early season Sweden, early season Norway, early season Norway. So it's no coincidence that these early season matches are not producing any form lines yet. So that's a lesson for you. But we laid Halmstad. Let's have a look at how the match progressed. So emphatic stuff from Halmstad. The fact it was an early season match and the home side were marginal favourites. It's a good reason to take them on. As you can see, a £3 maximum liability. Get a single goal and you could have actually made a profit out of that. Just that single goal. But we didn't stick with that. Well, OB and Hovedovre again. Let's have a look at this match. Norwegian. Oh no, not Norway. This is Denmark, I believe. Let's have a look at the match. Come out of that with a break even, pretty much. That's what I deliberately tried to create. A break even, loading up profit on OB Odense. And we were very, very unlucky here, to be honest. It was 1-2. Then it was 2-2 late on for OB. And we were looking at a £30 draw. And then that goal got disallowed. What a pity. So I hope you can see it for yourself. 1.57 pre-match favourite is a goal down. So what are you going to do? You're going to get your prayer mat out because it's 0-2. I got involved at 0-2 in the 82nd minute. We got that 1-2 and then we got this 96-minute disallowed goal from Mr. Tribal. What a pity. Could have come out of there with a 10-1 return relative to the amount risked. So pretty good stuff. I think this was yesterday, the Polish One League. Arka Gdynia and Resovia Retsa. This is a really emphatic performance from Arka, who have been a side to follow in Poland. It's such a quick turnaround, and you can see the pattern again, can't you? 1.4 favourite, conceding the first goal. Already done by half-time. I actually went downstairs to get a bottle of water. By the time I came back, you've already made your green screen by half-time. And when you get a profit by half-time, you might as well green up. Take the gift. Nice profit there. So, yesterday's lessons. Predominant lesson yesterday was how to handle a 0-2. Now, there's two ways you can handle the 0-2, i.e. you back the team at 0-1 down and then you concede another goal. We don't want that. What you can do, you can back both teams to score no at the first goal. That covers 0-1, covers 0-2. You can go correct score market back 0-2, but then you'll have to back 1-2 as well, because you're still facing a loss at 1-2. Or you could hold out for that 1-2 scoreline as we did yesterday and reduce your returns, for example. In that match with Häcken, I showed you £39.20 loss. That's because I didn't cash out at the 1-2 to make it an £8.20 loss. So do please remember, sometimes you're going to have to take red rather than green. And look at our liabilities in some of our plays yesterday. £3.30, £3.85, £3.60, all on the cusp of getting you a 10-1 return. And they will bite on occasion, and you will profit well. So those were the main matches yesterday. Didn't play this one. Dead rubber, new manager for Bournemouth, and it's rather obvious Man City win, wasn't it? Nothing doing. You could arguably have done the 20-minute rule here. 1.25 favourite, 0-0 after 20 minutes, 0-1, 0-2, any unquoted in the half-time score market. Very obvious play for Man City. Mönchengladbach and Union Berlin left this one alone, 2.5 the favourite. Mainz and Kiel, well, Mainz were leading until the very last second. Heidenheim, very, very late goal. We should have laid the draw there late on. Heidenheim have had a good second half scoring record recently against better sides than Darmstadt. Italian Serie A, not much doing there yesterday. Derby style match, I wouldn't play myself. Atalanta dominant. Bologna Udinese. Again, let's talk about that red card. But thankfully, we got an equaliser. We had the 0-1 covered, so that's not a problem. But the red card is something I can't legislate for, which is a real pity. Not much doing in the Eredivisie yesterday. Sparta Rotterdam scoring a second half goal. We could have arguably taken that on, but they weren't showing up in the in-play stats at all. RKC Valvik led twice. The reason I was a bit hesitant here is because we've had such an avalanche of sides in the relegation zone pulling out wins. They led twice in this match. You could see the importance of a win here. Add another 2 points to that. They're out of the relegation zone. That's why I was a little hesitant. Very good performance from Valvik. Might save their season. We'll soon find out. So good stuff yesterday. And more examples to you of how to try to protect that betting bank when a trade goes against you. I call it insurance. That covers at least one scoreline. But do try to think, how can I cover if my favoured side concedes at second consecutive goal? How can I get out of jail How do I cover that? Looking on to today, it's day off for me today. Let's have a look. Shamrock Rovers and Drogs, still too early in the season. We've got an obvious call here. 1.25 the favourite. And if you want to have a quick look in Ireland, fcstats.com will give you just a quick look at how these teams have progressed so far this season. It's very, very early in the season. You saw our potentially losing plays yesterday were because of early season leagues, Sweden and Norway. So you have been warned. Shamrock look the dominant force. I think they're on a 100% win record so far. Are they? We'll soon find out. No, they're not. Not quite. They're playing ninth in the league. They haven't played them yet this season, but they're unbeaten at home, Shamrock Rovers, and have 2 goals or 3 in the locker when they need them. Drogheda away from home did get a two defeats away against the top 4. Have real trouble scoring that second goal, so that could be a potential look at today. Genoa and Cagliari, 2.3 at the favourite, really makes very little or no appeal to me at all. I have done the research for you. If you can find any good stats here, then good for you. But 2.38 the favourite is a warning sign in itself. Be very, very cautious. Eredivisie, both teams to score in over 2.5 goals, the usual route. Barcelona and Valencia. This is a derby of sorts. 6 matches remain. 3rd against 8th. Barca 14 points shy of first place. I think their main goal, Barcelona, is to ensure that Champions League spot. And they're 13 points shy of their nearest rival in that regard. Valencia only 3 points shy of the top 6. So they're having a far better season after a couple of seasons of very poor performances. Barcelona's top scorer, Robert Lewandowski, only 13 goals though. Wow. Valencia struggled away from home. 5 wins, 3 draws and 8 losses. So you'd be favouring Barca on that basis. Again, AI has gone for 2-1. Get used to that. It's just telling you that they think it's going to be competitive, but they think that one side is just slightly better than the other. That's how I would read a 2-1 when you're doing AI. The Swedish Allsvenskan is far too early in the season. You already saw yesterday those Strømgodset and Häcken conceded 2 consecutive goals against market expectations. So just be careful this evening. It might still be a little early in the season to be trading the Allsvenskan and Superettan. Wait till the elite leagues return. Those are our main leagues today. Midtjylland a bit later on, 6 o'clock. Preston against Leicester. Now the problem we have here, I think Leicester are already promoted. So that's a dead rubber for Leicester. You can see that there. Southampton are guaranteed Championship semi-final football as well. That's what that arrow means. Preston North End, where are they? They're in 10th place. I have to have a look at they're 9 points shy of West Brom. And they've played a game less. So they must win today, take them up to 66 and be a lot nearer to striking against West Brom. Let's see how many matches are left. I think I might have done that already in the research. So let's have a look. No. Preston position 10th at 63 points. So got to be very careful with Leicester City. They've already won the title. So the players are going to psychologically switch off. Are they really going to bust a gut if they're a goal down? So that's the problem we have facing what is a dead rubber to one side. It is a must-win for Preston, I must say. So that in itself could give us a competitive match this evening. Very quiet indeed. Good day to have a day off. Tomorrow's going to be very quiet as well. Only 2 matches of importance. I won't be staying up for those, I'm afraid. Champions League first leg and another match for an elite league. Having a look at the tennis from yesterday. Try to make this a habit from April to September. Again, simple. Concede the first set, win the second. There we go. 1.67, job done. 1.44. Pity he didn't lose the first set. Do watch out for these local lads and lasses. Spanish in Spain. Hurkacz, job done. Alcaraz, no problem. So the market's getting the odds right yesterday. As you can see here, Taro Paul conceding the first set, wins the second. So it looked like a good day for trading yesterday in Madrid. just from the first set perspective. 1.8 the favourite is the equivalent of even Stevens, so it doesn't, it wouldn't surprise if either of these two won. That's what I'm trying to get with those kind of odds. Similar display here, even Stevens, and it was a very, very even match, this one, wasn't it? 1.67, Vondrousova, emphatic defeat in the second set, suggests possible injury. Like red cards, we can't legislate for injury. Let's have a look at the second set. Did Vondrousova lead at any stage? No, she lost the first set in the first. So what you can do in the future, you could just wait for the first service game, and if she digs a hole for herself, she'll be at far higher odds, she'll be at far lower odds, and that will be your low risk or lower risk entry point. I'm just trying to get my head around the tennis trading, to be honest. It's not as formulaic as the football, although this is just first set trading, as you can see here. I still don't know how to read the in-play stats. There must be something we can unpack from these in-play stats. I don't know what is the key, and maybe to look at break points. The amount of break points generated could be a good sign for a second set. If you're generating 6 break points, you've got a really good opportunity of getting the win. Elsewhere, service points won, I suppose. You want to see a high percentage, and a high percentage of second serves as well. That could be a trading angle for you. Second service, but only 50%, very low. So I've just got to try to suss out how to use the in-play stats as we do. What's the equivalent of a shot on target, shot off target in a corner? That's what I'm trying to get across. So good trading yesterday, particularly in the men's game. You wouldn't have had a losing trade there yesterday had you got involved. So good stuff. Day off for me today. Thanks very much for those of you attending the live stream on Saturday and Sunday. Great input as well. Paul, for example, gave me a heads up about Ludogorets, and that turns into a 58 quid profit. So my thanks to Paul for that heads up there. And it's a typical play. It's a 1.17 favourite, 0-2 down. Excellent performance from Ludogorets, although they didn't even win. Once you've locked in profit, it doesn't matter what happens afterwards. They were 3-2 up, then it became 3-3. So an obvious poor performance, as befits a side conceding the first 2 goals. But that came from a fellow Football Trading Profit member at the live stream. So if you want 57 quid's worth of profit just for turning up, come along to a live stream. Day off for me today. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you again tomorrow just for a video. I'm not going to see you for any trading tomorrow. I think it's a very, very quiet day indeed.